A reporter from East Kent has shared that he got to meet Prince Harry at a distance before Meghan Markle entered his life. Prince Harry's carefree personality won the hearts of people all around the world. The baby-faced prince visited the Duke of York Royal Military College in Dover, Kent in September of 2015, much to the delight of everybody who really knew him. There were smiles and excitement all around, and even then, Harry was kind of shy. He didn't really like the media. And then Meghan Markle entered Harry's life, and the two of them got married. Now, supposedly, Harry is not a big fan of the media, and it all traces back to his mother's tragic passing, the heartbreaking aftermath being his first taste of what life was like in the spotlight. Both Harry and Meghan have filed at least 7 lawsuits against British and American news organizations since 2019. But now, look at how much he has changed. Now, Harry loves using the press to his advantage. Now, he just uses the press to get his message out there that he hates his family and he was so hard done by. He feels like his entire life he was mistreated. Wah, wah, wah. He has a pity party for himself vocally and very frequently, too. And the media is his favorite tool for whining, which is pretty pathetic for an adult man who supposedly has kids. The funny thing, too, is that Harry would certainly fade away into obscurity if the media wasn't always reporting on him. Meghan, though, is dangerous, and so is he, although perhaps not in the exact same way. Even if they split, Harry is still going to be dangerous, and that's why he should never be allowed around the Wales family. Because Harry has changed. He's not the Harry that people used to love. His personality is a combination of the worst characteristics of his father, his mother, and Meghan Markle. Somebody who doesn't stop the tricks, somebody who would betray his own family and country. And he's very ambitious, but he doesn't even realize he's a nobody. And that's one of his problems. He wants to be the king, but he's not prepared to forgive his parents for him having an older brother. Harry is certainly not prepared to accept William as heir to the throne, and not poor, whiny Harry. Who knows what is going to happen next? So maybe apart from Meghan Markle affecting Harry's life, there are other reasons, such as the fact that Harry was mollycoddled by his mother. And he was basically mollycoddled by everybody after she passed away. And that is his problem. I'm sure Diana thought that she was helping him, but the sad thing is, it has turned him into an adult, spoiled brat. So unpleasant, and then Meghan Markle makes things a lot worse. See, I think Diana, though, mollycoddled him because she knew that he had some problems and that he was suffering from the same emotional instability that she was suffering from. Even she herself admitted that he had some problems. And the mollycoddling, I think, was because she felt guilty. But what Harry seems to forget is that his mother courted the British media for her own benefit. You know what they say, though, what you sow, you shall reap. The truth is, as far as I can see, I mean, he looks pretty arrogant to me. I think Harry is incredibly egotistical. That smile means something else altogether. I'm not fooled by it. And now Harry does everything with that miserable look on his face. Something I also believe Harry is still uncomfortable with is the fact that he had to give up using His Royal Highness when he ran away from his duties and his country. It seems like Harry doesn't understand that without the influence of the royal family, he never would have gotten into Sandhurst, and he for sure would not have gotten further than captain. All the other titles were honorary. And Harry has a big problem because he's so desperate to be the center of attention. It's going to take a bit longer than originally thought, but eventually Meghan Markle is going to ditch him. He's never going to grow up. Let's talk about just how Diana died. I mean, it was tragic, but let's look at what really happened. It had nothing to do with the press. It wasn't their fault. Now, sure, some people were following the car, some reporters with cameras, I guess, but nobody made that car drive so fast. Nobody told the occupants not to wear their seatbelts. If they had just gone about their business like always, nothing would have happened. But for some reason, they decided to have some fun with it, to make a game out of it, to involve themselves in a high-speed chase. And you know what? They ended up paying the ultimate price, but that is not the fault of the press. So, does Harry really feel hurt? I mean, honestly, folks, I don't see any signs of trauma. I don't see any signs of resentment when he's faced with a bunch of paparazzi every single time he or Meghan Markle crosses a parking lot or eats a well documented meal detailing the prices, the menu, and whatever they ate. Harry's got that big, stupid grin on his face. He'll stop, he'll pose, and he'll wave excitedly. See how that's a sign of trauma. And I do wonder, even at this point in time, if it has ever occurred to Harry that Meghan Markle was the one who called up the paparazzi every single time she wanted to be photographed doing something like walking into her yoga class in Toronto during the period that she was stalking Harry. Up to the point that she outed herself as his girlfriend, the media wasn't interested in Meghan Markle. She was unknown. She simply wasn't on their radar. I do hope that journalists are finally finding out the correct address for the senior royals. So His Majesty is only to be used for the king, not just a spare prince. So back then, Harry's title was His Royal Highness, but I have a very difficult time now even referring to him as Prince. He'll never be His Majesty, though. I mean, these royal reporters need to learn something. That was also his title before he signed the Sandringham Agreement, and the Sandringham Agreement meant that he would stop being a working royal. And that was his choice, let's remember that. Formal title used to be His Royal Highness Prince Harry Mountbatten Windsor. And so, of course, he had to work for that title. He would do charity work, but now he's no longer a working royal, and so he lost his formal military titles. Sad now, Harry and Meghan are trying to grift off American citizens who pay to see him so that Meghan Markle can waste a bunch of money. Oh, remember what they wanted, though? It was privacy. They wanted less intrusion by the press and to make their own living away from the royal family. Yeah, right. They have done nothing but attack the royals, and now Meghan Markle is getting jealous of Harry's bit of the limelight in Invictus Games. The way they acted, especially towards the late queen, was disgusting. So sad. I mean, the late queen was so upset by those two in her final days. She was 96 years old when those two started their abuse. It really is tragic. If Harry and that disgusting woman he married had played their cards right, they could have been so successful in the UK and really all over the world. But no, no, no. Their envy and their greed got the best of them, and they have ruined everything. The real shame is, supposedly because of the death of his mother, Diana, that is where his hatred of the media comes from. So, why is he so opposed to them now? Well, I suspect because when he was younger, they caught him being a naughty boy, so they were following him around, and he blames them for the loss of his other girlfriends, like Chelsea. But the fact is, Harry doesn't hate the media. He always loved seeing journalists in bars and gossiping about his brother and his father. He loved that the media liked to play his game, and they called him the most popular royal. What Harry could not stand, though, was when the press discovered things that really hurt his reputation. And now what he's trying to do is force the press to only say good things about him. That is how out of control his ego is. He loved the attention. I mean, come on. He was in his element, getting to wear a uniform, having people salute him, bow to him, refer to him as sir. He was never this carefree, call me Harry that he tried to portray himself as. Harry is always trying to remind us he is a prince of the realm, and he is so desperate to have taxpayer funded security, motorcycled outriders, and of course the commoners bowing down to him. He was so indulged and spoiled when he was a little boy, and clearly he never matured. Look, the Harry we see today is a bit different because he has been corrupted by the greedy ambition of Meghan Markle. I mean, Harry is her ever willing accomplice, and he's got the agenda as well to want the throne and also reign as the sovereign one. It's never going to happen. This new Harry, though, is toxic, and he's really not his old self. It looks like those times are behind us. So, with Harry's hatred of the media, why in the world did he choose this washed up actress to become his wife? She was a relatively unknown actress. She's never seen a camera, though, that she doesn't love. And her only claim to fame is that she stalked and she captured a not very bright prince. I think the real answer is this: Harry didn't really choose Meghan Markle, he just got caught in her trap. She's a bit like Rasputin, if you ask me, and she never should have been allowed to sneak into the royal family. So back to Diana. I mean, bless her, Diana was insecure. And this was obviously because of her really dysfunctional childhood and also the selfish behavior of her parents. And this wasn't the divorce, but the fact that both parents only considered themselves. Unfortunately, it's not unusual. When parents work together for the good of their kids, the trauma of divorce is not so harmful. Both Diana and Charles really loved their kids, but the difference is William seemed to be the one that Diana depended on emotionally during those difficult times. And I know that was hard on him, but fortunately, he married a wonderful woman when he met Catherine, and she came from such a stable, secure family. Simply didn't need all the attention that Diana needed, but she was a genuinely caring person, and she would have done so well on her own, too. Meghan, though, needs to prove herself because she would be a nobody without Harry. She was never a good actress. Harry is never going to be able to have what William has, but still, he has got to stop blaming everybody else for his problems. He chose Meghan, and maybe he thinks he loves her, but he needs to look at how fortunate he is compared to so many people, and he needs to learn how to be comfortable with himself. Well, friends, that's the main information in today's news. How do you feel about this? Do you agree with my views and analysis? Please comment below. And don't forget to support the channel with a like, share, and subscription.